Welcome back. A lot of stuff emerging, lots of breaking news. Did you guys notice in the news, they're talking about all the wealthy people, right? All the actors that clearly have good insurance aren't gonna have a problem compared to the regular folks that got their insurance taken away. Property getting swept up. Altadena, a historic black neighborhood in Los Angeles, faces catastrophic wildfire damage. Why is that significant? Well, it has to do with all the homes that were the grandparents and bought after the Civil Rights and the Fair Housing Act is gone. Yeah, Altadena, Pasadena, it was the only place that black families were allowed to buy homes. Gone. Did you see this? Gavin Newsom working with developers to change zoning in burn areas to allow mass apartments. We'll go into that. Not sure if you guys have seen all the jazz and the chatter on lasers. Now we got to be careful with this one because AI tools these days are crazy. Are these photos real? Can we validate them? Because I'm seeing lots of information and photos and video of crazy laser action. And not sure if you heard what old Bidenio said. Look at this. President Joe Biden posts on X. I'm announcing that the federal government will cover 100% of the cost of measure to protect lives and all property in Southern California for 6 months. I've told the government officials to spare no expense and do whatever they need to do to contain the fires and protect families. Well, shoot, when Storm Helene went through, still got all those folks disarray. California gets some special treatment, huh? And I'm sure you haven't heard the bombshell Mel Gibson drops. A lot of crazy stuff, a lot of evolving stuff that affects you coming right up.
My name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. If you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most of all, news and awareness, stuff that you want to know about, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one.
Folks, thanks for starting this off with a like. It helps it reach a lot more folks to keep people aware. Before we get into some of the juicy stuff, Mel Gibson drops a bombshell on Fox News accusing the California state government of possibly starting the fires on purpose. Could that be true? Gibson says he knows the state of California was messing with the water supply of Los Angeles before the fires started. Watch this.
Well, you know, I know they were messing with the water. Letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, oh, is it on purpose? Which it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be? You know, I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
You guys will have to let me know what you guys think about Mel Gibson down in the comments. Is this one of those guys that's a straight shooter? Does he have the interest and the perspective of the people? I could clearly hear in his voice, these guys are very careful on how they say stuff. When you got the current leader of the country saying, give them everything, we'll fund everything, which I scratch my head on. Why it's so easy to support California when you got all the states and areas still suffering from the Storm Helene. Then you got the up and comer, old Trumpsky, saying, no water in the fire hydrants, no money in FEMA. This is what Joe Bidenio is leaving me. Thanks, Joe. Now, I did a very popular video just the other day that if you guys missed it, watch it. I'll pin it in the comments and I'll put it at the top of the description. But in regards to them already paving the road for 15-minute cities down the road, it says, Gavin Newsom working with developers to change zoning in burning areas to allow mass apartments. Go figure, mass apartments, right? Newsom is allegedly working with developers to convert zoning in Pacific Palisades from R1 single family to R3 appointments. Connect the dots, folks. Now, I went down in the comments, and I'm always doing this. I'm reading what people write. I want to know what people are saying. This guy, Kevin, writes, here is what I get. What if people don't move there? I mean, the poor can't afford it. The rich don't want to live 15 minutes from the poors. So sure, some rich folk like condos, and a whole lot don't. I just wonder how they'd get people to buy in. Now, I've got a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, a lot of people here in the community from California. There's good people in California, and I've heard how much they pay in rent. Put it in the comments. If you pay rent in California or a crazy area, tell us how much rent is getting to. Tell us how much mortgage payments are getting to. Getting outrageous. Magdalene for Life writes, give the people back the value of what they lost. Quit sending money to Ukraine. That goes for Lahaina, North Carolina, and Ohio too, right? This person writes, Gavin Newsom quotes, "So we're thinking of turning these burnt lots into giant apartment complexes." Investor quotes, "Like a phoenix from the ashes kind of deal." What? Newsom, in quotes, "Exactly, but with less mythical bird and more hipster coffee shops." You guys heard about Project 2030, right? Smart LA 2028. Technology for a better Los Angeles. Yeah, ironic that that's in place, right?
Governor Newsom announcing today he is increasing the National Guard presence to more than 1,600 service members to assist. That is doubling CalGuard boots on the ground, mobilizing more than 12,000 first responders engaged.
And it's true, one of the people that sends me tons of stuff for our shows sent me this on Highway 5 headed to Southern California. Don't you wish some of the Helene victims that are still struggling, still people over there living in tents, wouldn't it be nice if they got the attention like California gets? Check this out.
Today is January 10th, 2025. I'm going to start this video out by saying that we're praying for California. We've had several people make the trip across coast to come volunteer here with us with Valley Strong Disaster Relief. I'll be the very first to admit that before September 27th, I would see a natural disaster and I would think, oh, that sucks. Then I would go on about my life. That's because I'd never been affected by it. My mindset has completely changed since Hurricane Helene, and I'll spend the rest of my life being involved in some sort of storm relief and trying to pay back the hearts of the volunteers and to help the victims. This morning I saw a post made by the leader of the free world. He said that he was announcing that the federal government would cover 100% of the cost of measures to protect the lives and property in Southern California for the next 6 months. He told the governor and officials to spare no expense and do whatever they need to contain the fires and protect families. I hope that happens. I wouldn't wish what happened here on anybody, not even my worst enemy. What about Appalachia? We are 105 days in since one of the most devastating storms known to mankind. We are still supplying our own campers and shelters while paying mortgages on piles of rubble. We are still running our own supply hubs with phase 1 items to many people that lost everything, including their homes and their jobs. We still have bridges out. Only 4% of the debris has been picked up. You heard that right, 4%. Many businesses are bankrupt with insurance denying their claim. We have a polar vortex slamming western North Carolina while people are going through 10 gallons of propane a night, wondering where they're going to get their next tank. Every single thing that we the people have done for relief efforts so far has been nothing but a mere band-aid to stabilize our communities until proper help arrives. So with all that being said, I hope LA does get fixed. In the meantime, we'll be right here fighting for each other. But when you're done there, don't forget about the backbone of America. Don't forget about Appalachia. Our taxes are paid too.
Well said, right? Got tax-paying people everywhere. Good people in California that were hurt by this, but it's going to be really interesting how California gets help compared to the folks from the disaster of Helene. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And I tell you what, these disasters bring out the worst of the people, right? So I've got also stuff right here. This was sent to me. Breaking, LAPD responds to a burglary call at Vice President Kamala Harris's home in Brentwood amid fire. With that being said, looting is on the rise.
LAPD responded to a burglary call this morning about 4:30. This was at the home of Vice President Kamala Harris. 2 men dressed all in black. They were detained by police and then questioned, but then later released. The Secret Service also responding to that same call. Those 2 men were inside the evacuation zone while the curfew was in effect. Now, it's unclear if anybody was actually home at the time of that call.
Lots of security officials, law enforcement on the ground tonight in various neighborhoods, keeping watch.
Well, at least everybody's getting a fair shake on that, if you know what I mean. And down in the comments, you can see this gal Heather does a post of all the crazy stuff that's popping off. Attempted break-in, report of a person set fire to property. You got 3 masked men breaking into a home, group attempting to break into a house, people looting evacuated homes, front door of resident broke into, group breaking into a house. Trust me, when crap hits the fan, it's not always just the emergency you think it is. So that's why it's good to be protected. Now you've got the news spreading all kinds of stuff like conspiracy theories, right, on why the fires happened. But then, you know, you watch guys like this, just to give you an example. This guy right here is talking about he's going patent hunting because just about everything has a patent these days, including the stuff that we're scratching our head about.
And I don't know if you've seen this picture or this video. Or this video where things from the other fire west of LA, the blue things didn't seem to want to burn.
Which I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this video right here, where a certain color doesn't get affected or burned by the thing that it's getting shot by. Which brings us to the patent. Look that number up right there. Do your due diligence. Look it up and see what it says. I'm not even going to read what that says, but you guys can do a little bit of research and clearly read exactly what a lot of people are questioning right now. All the data is there. Now, did you guys hear about any rich people, Hollywood famous people losing their lives? We lost some houses. Guaranteed they had good insurance that probably didn't drop them. And let me know if you agree. I bet you some of those folks had a very big warning to not be home and that something might have been coming. Maybe not Mel Gibson, for reasons I'm sure you guys can guess. Anyway, these are just theories. The things coming out of the sky, starting fires, could be generated from AI. That's why we say chalking this up to entertainment purposes only. But with that, do your own research. We give you lots of leads on a lot of things. You can go down some deep dives, some rabbit trails, and it's not hard to find good information. Again, share this out. If you missed yesterday's video, watch it. I put out a lot of good stuff that we're talking about in there. Watch it while it's still up. And make sure the notification bell is still on. Sometimes it magically gets clicked off, and I'll keep you guys up to date. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.